Hello, friends. Have you ever wondered what true power really is? Join Princess Luna on an enchanting journey to discover the lost crown of kindness and learn that the most powerful magic comes from within. You can draw inspiration from this video or use our AI tools to make your own videos. Let's get started. Once upon a time, in a faraway land nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake, lived Princess Luna, a young ruler with a heart of gold. Known for her compassion and warmth, Luna was adored by her people. Every morning when the sun kissed the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, Luna would wake up feeling the pulse of her kingdom. Today was a special day. It was the annual Caring and Sharing Festival, a celebration of kindness and unity that her grandmother, the late Queen, had instituted. As the princess made her way to the throne room, she couldn't help but smile at the sight that greeted her. Her loyal knight, Sir Orion, was practicing his sword skills in the courtyard, his light armor gleaming in the sun. When he noticed Luna, he stopped and bowed respectfully. "My lady, are you ready?" he asked, his voice echoing the chime of a morning bell. His gaze was unwavering, reflecting the steadfast loyalty he held for his princess. Before we go further, let me ask you a question. What do you think is the most important quality of a leader? Is it bravery, intelligence, or perhaps a strong sense of justice? Share your thoughts below. Maybe you'll see your comment in the next episode. Now let's continue the story. Reaching the throne room, Luna was met with a joyful scene. The townsfolk were gathered, their faces alight with anticipation. Children ran about, their laughter echoing like wind chimes. Merchants displayed their finest wares, and the air was thick with the aroma of fresh pastries and blooming flowers. In the center of it all sat the ancient crown of kindness, its gems twinkling with an otherworldly glow. It was time for the ceremony. As Luna approached the dais, the crowd fell silent. She carefully placed the crown on her head and gasped as a shower of sparks erupted around her. The magic of the crown surged through her veins, a comforting warmth that spread to every corner of the kingdom, touching each resident with a renewed sense of happiness and generosity. However, as the night deepened, casting long shadows across the land, a dark figure emerged. Silently slipping into the castle, the figure made their way to the throne room. With nimble fingers, they unfastened the clasp, lifting the crown away. The moment the crown left the dais, the magic within the kingdom sputtered, leaving behind a chilling silence. The next morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, Princess Luna awoke with a start. Birdsong filled the air, yet something was amiss. The usual cheerful hum of her kingdom seemed muted. Shaking off her sleepiness, she rose and hurried to the throne room. But as she rounded the corner, her heart skipped a beat. The crown of kindness was gone. Panic surged through her as she realized the town's subdued mood was tied to the missing crown. Without its magic, the kingdom was enveloped in a gray fog of sadness and worry. Determined to restore the joy to her people and recover the stolen crown, Luna turned to Sir Orion, her loyal knight. His face, usually as stoic and unwavering as the mountains, was creased with concern. Together they stepped out into the town, determined to find the source of the gloom. As they walked among the townsfolk, Luna's heart ached. The baker, who usually greeted the morning with a song, now sat slumped over his counter. The cobbler, whose laughter could fill the market square, was nowhere to be seen. Even the children who should have been playing merrily in the streets were listlessly staring at their feet. The magic of the crown had touched every heart, and without it, the kingdom was shrouded in a heavy gloom. Orion, seeing the distress etched on Luna's face, placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "My lady," he said, his voice a beacon in the darkness, "I vow to find the crown and bring it back to you." His eyes, usually as bright and clear as the summer sky, were clouded with determination. Overcome with gratitude and love for her knight, Luna returned his vow with a grateful smile. "Thank you, Sir Orion," she whispered, her voice echoing with sincerity. And so their journey began. Hand in hand they left the town, their figures silhouetted against the backdrop of the fading sun. Their steps echoed determination, promising to return before the next sunrise with the crown recovered and the kingdom's joy restored. As the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the world in hues of purple and orange, Princess Luna and Sir Orion found themselves at the edge of the Whisperwood, an ancient forest rumored to be home to all manner of magical creatures. Just as they were about to step into the shadowy embrace of the woods, a giggle echoed through the trees. Startled, Luna and Orion whirled around to see a tiny figure perched on a nearby branch. With delicate wings shimmering in the fading light, the figure introduced herself as Keeva, a forest sprite. Her dress was woven from leaves, and her hair, adorned with sparkling dewdrops, cascaded down her back like a waterfall. She explained that the forest was under her protection and warned the princess and the knight that they could not enter without her permission. Determined to retrieve the crown, Luna attempted to persuade Keeva to help them. However, the sprite remained unmoved, her arms crossed firmly over her chest. Sensing Keeva's reluctance, Luna decided to take a different approach. Instead of arguing, she reached out a hand in friendship. "We mean you no harm," she said softly, her eyes filled with sincerity. "We only wish to speak with someone who lives deep within the woods, someone who may be able to help us find the missing crown." Touched by the princess's kindness, Keeva's stern demeanor softened. Seeing an opportunity, Luna pressed on, saying, "We would be honored if you could guide us to them. Your knowledge of the forest would be invaluable." As they ventured deeper into the Whisperwood, the towering trees seemed to close in around them, forming a tunnel of green. The air grew thick with the scent of pine, and the soft carpet of moss muffled their footsteps. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the trees, followed by a deep voice that boomed like thunder. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" Startled, Luna and Orion turned to face the source of the commotion. Before them stood a giant rock golem, his body formed from rough stones and patches of moss covering his limbs, like old worn robes. His face, etched with lines and crevices, was creased in a perpetual frown. This was Grumble, the ancient guardian of the forest's heart, and he was far from pleased with their intrusion. Luna, ever quick-witted, quickly apologized for any disturbance, explaining that they meant him no harm. She went on to describe the situation, emphasizing the importance of finding the crown and restoring joy to her kingdom. Touched by the princess's genuine concern for her people, Grumble's stony heart softened. He agreed to help, his gruff exterior giving way to surprising gentleness as he led them through secret paths and over fallen logs. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, the sounds of the outside world faded away, replaced by the hushed whispers of the ancient trees. The path ahead was fraught with peril, and Luna knew that only through empathy and understanding could they hope to succeed. Their quest led them to a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stood a magnificent oak, its branches reaching towards the sky like the arms of a benevolent giant. Beneath its sprawling canopy, Luna and Orion rested, rejuvenated by the tranquil atmosphere. As they shared stories and laughter, the bond between them grew, strengthening their resolve to carry on. Just as they were about to continue their journey, a dark shadow flickered at the edge of their vision. Startled, they turned to see a cloaked figure darting between the trees. The individual was shrouded in darkness, their features obscured, leaving only a pair of glowing red eyes visible. Before they could react, the figure disappeared into the thicket. Determined to catch the thief, Luna and Orion gave chase. They followed a winding path that led them deeper into the forest, the air growing colder with every step. As they pushed on, the trees seemed to close in, forming a dense, impenetrable wall. Suddenly, the trees opened up to reveal a large cavern shrouded in an unnatural darkness. Inside, strange whispers echoed around them, sending shivers down their spines. Luna and Orion exchanged a nervous glance, their steps faltering slightly. The whispers grew louder, taking on a sinister tone that seemed to mock their every move. Undeterred, they pressed on, their determination to recover the crown fueling their courage. In the flickering light, they saw an array of glowing mushrooms scattered across the cavern floor. These were no ordinary fungi. They pulsed with an otherworldly light, casting eerie shadows that danced on the cavern walls. Intrigued, Luna approached cautiously, her eyes scanning for any signs of movement. As she drew closer, she noticed a peculiar pattern in the arrangement of the mushrooms. It was a puzzle, and she instinctively knew that solving it would lead them further on their quest. With keen observation and quick thinking, she discovered a sequence that caused the mushrooms to glow brighter, illuminating the path ahead. One by one, she pressed on, her senses heightened, her determination unwavering. Suddenly, the passage opened up, revealing a chamber unlike any they had seen before. In the center stood a large pool of water, its surface rippling gently. Above it hung a mirror that shimmered with an otherworldly glow. This was the Mirror of Reflection, an artifact of immense power that was said to show not the reflection of one's physical form, but the reflection of one's soul. Drawn to its mystical allure, Luna stepped closer. As she gazed into its depths, she saw not her physical likeness, but a representation of her magic. The sight was both awe-inspiring and disheartening. Her magic, usually vibrant and full of warmth, appeared weak and flickering, mirroring her doubts and fears about their quest. Disheartened by the image she saw, Luna's spirit sank. The weight of the kingdom's hopes and dreams, the responsibility to restore its joy, pressed heavily upon her shoulders. Her magic, the source of her connection to her people, seemed diminished, casting long shadows of doubt on her ability to succeed. Noticing her friend's despondent mood, Sir Orion knelt beside her, his expression a mixture of concern and determination. Gently he placed a hand on her shoulder, his touch firm yet reassuring. "My lady," he said softly, his voice echoing with sincerity. "Your magic may flicker, but it does not cease to exist. The crown's absence has dimmed your connection to your people, but it has not extinguished the flame within you." His words, spoken with such quiet strength, resonated within Luna, stirring a long-forgotten feeling, confidence. His unwavering belief in her rekindled a spark of hope, reminding her of the countless times her kindness had brought joy to her people. Slowly, her spirits lifted. As she looked back into the mirror, she saw a faint glow beginning to return to her magic, fueled by Orion's faith in her. Just as Luna's spirits began to lift, a dark figure emerged from the shadows, their presence casting an ominous cloud over the chamber. Startled, Luna and Orion turned to face the intruder, their eyes widening in surprise. It was the Shadow Thief, the enigmatic being they had glimpsed in the forest. For a moment there was only silence, broken only by the rhythmic dripping of water from the cavern ceiling. The Shadow Thief hesitated, their gloved hands twitching as if wanting to reach out. But just as quickly, they withdrew, melting back into the shadows. Before Luna could react, the figure vanished, leaving behind an echoing silence and a crown that still remained out of reach. Grumble, sensing the shift in energy, stepped forward, his stone face etched with concern. He offered to search for the thief, hoping to catch them off guard. As Grumble disappeared into the labyrinthine tunnels, a sudden rumble shook the cavern. Startled, Luna and Orion rushed to the opening where they had entered. To their horror, a massive boulder had fallen, blocking their exit. Trapped within the cavern, they raced to help Grumble, their hearts pounding in their chests. The cavern echoed with the sound of their footsteps as they hurried through the twisting tunnels, the fate of Grumble hanging in the balance. Suddenly they heard a loud crash, followed by a pained groan. Rushing towards the sound, they found Grumble pinned beneath another fallen boulder. Without hesitation, Orion sprang into action. With a mighty heave, he rolled the boulder off Grumble's legs, freeing the trapped golem. Relief washed over them as Grumble slowly rose to his feet, dusting himself off. But their triumph was short-lived. As Grumble moved to help Orion brush the dust from his armor, the ground trembled again. A large section of the ceiling crumbled above them, threatening to crush them all. With swift reflexes honed by years of training, Orion shielded Luna, protecting her with his own body. In that moment of peril, their roles reversed. Instead of rescuing the knight, Luna found herself needing to save him. Summoning her courage, she channeled her magic, creating a barrier of shimmering light that absorbed the falling debris. As the dust settled, they turned to see Grumble kneeling before them. His stony face, usually set in a perpetual frown, was softened with emotion, his eyes shining with newfound respect and admiration. He mumbled, his voice hoarse with emotion. "Thank you." In the aftermath of their adventure, Luna and Orion found themselves standing before the Shadow Thief, their steps echoing in the vast cavern. The thief, their features obscured by the hood of their cloak, shuffled nervously, their presence radiating a palpable loneliness. As Luna approached, she saw not a villain, but a being shrouded in sadness. With gentle empathy, she extended a hand, an olive branch of peace. "Why do you steal the crown's magic, taking it from those who need it most?" she asked softly, her voice echoing with compassion. The thief hesitated, their gloved hands twitching. Slowly they lowered their hood, revealing a face marked by sorrow and weariness. In a voice that cracked with emotion, they explained that they stole the magic out of desperation, not out of malice. Touched by their tale of sorrow, Luna's heart ached with understanding. Recognizing the pain that drove the thief, she chose forgiveness over judgment. "You are not a bad being," she said softly, her eyes filled with empathy. "Your actions may seem harmful, but they are born from a place of deep sadness." Her words hung in the air, offering a glimmer of hope in the cavern's dim glow. With a heavy heart,